So we're going to make some ponzu sauce, which is a great sauce for raw fish. It was a signature sauce from a chef called Seiji Maeda, a Japanese guy, and he used to serve it with a crispy skate wing. But today I'm just going to serve it with some beautiful fresh catch kingfish. And the great thing about ponzu sauce is that it's a super simple dish to make, and it makes a great change, I guess, from just your traditional soy, wasabi, and pickled ginger. First thing we're going to do is add half a cup of soy. Get good quality soy, none of that light stuff. And then half a cup of Japanese rice wine vinegar. Quarter of a cup of red wine, good quality red wine. You notice this one doesn't have a label, that means it's really good quality. So good, we didn't want to tell anyone about it. Now we're going to add the real magic. So these are bonito flakes, dried bonito flakes, also called katsuobushi if you're Japanese. And we're going to take about a tablespoon and a half. So the next magic Japanese ingredient are pickled plums. And these are a wonderful little ingredient. They're quite salty. Salty and citrusy, and I just break up 2 or 3 of those, add them to the pot. And then just the last ingredient is 1 lime. So it's as simple as that. And it sort of helps extract the juice. I'm going to chop that in half and then in quarters. I'm going to squeeze those and just drop them into the pot. Just drop those into the saucepan. Just going to bring it up to a simmer, turn it right down low, and basically just let those ingredients simmer away there and infuse into that liquid. Strain it off, put it in the fridge, it's there forever. Beautiful. Right, so I've got a beautiful bit of Freshcatch kingfish. It's actually the belly, which I love, which has a bit more fat content. I'll keep it cold in the fridge, wrapped up nice and dry on a nice slicker pad. So, all I'm going to do is just cut this as thin as possible. So very sharp knife is the key. And it's worth, I simply adore knives, so I have a lot. But there are some great Japanese stores around that have wonderfully sharp, fantastic knives for this sort of thing. And it really is, I think, worth, if you're into your cooking or into preparing food, it's all about the tools. And if you have great sharp knives, the jobs become a lot easier. So nice and simple, thin cuts. And I'm just going to lay these sort of willy-nilly around the plate. As a country, we've really embraced all these other cuisines, and certainly sashimi, understanding that if we look after our fish and we get really fresh fish, that we can eat it in a raw state. And eating raw fish, it's so good for you, but it's really just about this fresh texture. Every fish has a different texture. But just to dip it into something like ponzu and eat it, something so pure as this, is really something quite special. The thing about sashimi is that you're not cooking, you're just really cutting it up and putting it together. So it's pretty simple. It's something that you can do an hour or 2 ahead. And when your guests arrive, it's all about hospitality. Get a drink in their hand, boom, out comes the sashimi, and you're away. So some thin chili here. Again, on the bias, as thin as I can slice it. And I'm just going to spread a couple of those around, like so. I like just a little hint of heat. And then our ponzu that I made. So I've just, a little tip for you. If you're pouring something into a small ramekin, or you're wanting to put some sauce over some some fish, or even if you're going to do some beef and some gravy, and you put it in a teapot. That way you've got lots of control and you're not going to spill it anywhere. So that's my ponzu. And just because you can, and I learnt this little lesson in a restaurant in London, and I was served some raw fish with ponzu, and they put a couple of drops of truffle oil in there. Thank you, Hamish Brown. He was the chef that showed me this. And that just gives it this sort of earthy flavour, as well as the sort of salty and citrusy flavours that are in there. That is it. Simple as that. Oh my God. A little bit of chilli, a little bit of green onion. Gotta try it. Unbelievable.